Today I'm here to share with you the last 10 books that I read. Honestly, I don't like doing monthly wrap-ups because I don't like editing all of the books that I read for the month. And so I started doing the monthly where I just tell you the books and the star ratings and then review the ones I liked most, and I didn't really feel like that was working for me either. So we're going to try this now, and I'm going to review the last 10 books that I read. So this is actually from the start of September to today is the 19th that I'm filming this. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. We're going to try this for a little bit, see how it works. Let's go ahead and get started. The first book that I read this month was Almost Just Friends by Jill Shalvis. This is in her Wildstone series, but they can all be, it's 68 degrees outside, so I thought I'm going to put a hoodie on and I'm going to be cozy, and it's already hot in here, so. Anyway, this is in her Wildstone series. They can be read as standalones, but I really enjoyed this whole series, so please read all of them. This is about Piper, who has, due to an incident when they were younger, her and her brother and sister were raised by their grandmother, who was kind of checked out. So Piper really did the raising of her younger siblings, and it's really kind of gotten her into this funk of doing things for other people before she does things for herself. I don't know why I did that like it was me. So her brother and sister have both moved out, and then Piper meets Camden, and Camden is I think he was the son of a neighbor that Piper lived near. And they start kind of spending time together. And then both of her siblings come back, and they are both keeping secrets from her, but Camden does know a little bit about the secrets. Oh, that's spoilery. Let me not say that. Camden does know a little bit about their secrets because he finds them out. And I gave this book 5 stars. I don't know how to describe it without spoiling it too much, but this was so good. And this cover is absolutely stunning. There's a dog on this cover. Wasn't there a cat in the book? I know there was a cat. I don't remember if there was a dog or not. Anyway, this is a really good book. Next, I read Midnight Action by Elle Kennedy. This is in her Killer Instinct series. I think it's book 5, but I'm not for sure. This is about Morgan and Noelle, who are the leaders. Jim Morgan is the leader of the mercenary team, and Noelle is the leader of the female assassin team that have been teaming up and working together throughout the book, and members of the teams have been falling in love. But they're the leaders of it, and they have this past that has been, it's been back and forth for the whole series, and we finally got their book and found out what happened in their past to make them adversaries, but still really drawn to each other, and it was so good. It was so good. So worth the wait. I did give this one 5 stars as well. My thing about this series is it always sets up so well for the next couple as well. And so I'm just I was real back and forth on if it was a 4-star read because I was looking forward to the next one, or if it was a 5-star read because I did really enjoy the 2 that were here in this one, and I did end up going with 5 stars. Next, I read Brazen and the Beast by Sarah McLean. This is book 2 in the Bare Knuckle Bastard series. There's a step back. I think I looked at that step back so much that it doesn't close. So this is about Lady Henrietta, and she has decided, I think it's her she declares her 29th year her own, and she's going to do what she needs to do to inherit her father's shipping company. And she basically goes to this what's it called? Like a brothel but for women to go to. Yeah, basically she's gonna lose her virginity, and so that she doesn't so she can't get married, so that there's this whole thing. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, on her way to this place, she discovers that there is a man tied up in her carriage because he's had this run-in with her brother, who is already kind of running the company, but her father's company, but he's not doing very well, and she knows she can do better than that. And the guy that's tied up in her carriage is Wit, who everyone in Covent Gardens knows as Beast, because he's one of the bare knuckle bastards who kind of runs Covent Gardens. Is that it? Covent Garden. So at first they kind of make a deal to get both what so that both of them can get what they want. She wants to lose her virginity, take over her father's company. He wants revenge on her brother and to find out who her brother is working with, because that's the thing of the Bare Knuckle Bastard series that I'm not gonna go too into. But they soon realize that their deal is not quite working, and they become enemies for a little bit. And this was so like bantery, and like their back and forth was just so perfect. I gave this one 5 stars as well. I'm actually currently reading book 3, and I don't know how it can be, like I just started it this morning. I don't know how it can be better than this one. I loved this book so much. It's, bold statement, but I'm gonna say it. It's probably my second favorite historical romance after The Hunter by Kerrigan Byrne. Bold statement. So yes, if you've been keeping track, I had 3 5-star reads in a row. And then I continued on with one that I was pretty sure was going to be a 5-star as well. And it definitely was. So 4 5-star reads in a row. And that was Always Only You by Chloe Leese. I really think her name is pronounced Leese. I've tried, like, I followed her on Instagram, and I've been trying to get her, like, say her name somehow. Or I've been, like, going back through videos and Instagram stories and everything, trying to find out if she's ever, like, said her name, pronounced her name, and I can't find it, so. This is book 2 in the Bergman Brothers series, and this is about Ren, who is a professional hockey player, even though all of his family is soccer players. He discovered hockey when he was a teenager and just really fell in love with it and was really good at it, so he became a professional. And Frankie, who is she's the PR, social media, I forget exactly what her job was. She did something for the team regarding their social media, and she walks with a cane. She has rheumatoid arthritis, some type of arthritis, and she is on the autism spectrum, but Ren was really good about, like, making sure she was comfortable, making sure she understood that if it was something she wanted to do, they were going to do it. If it was something she didn't want to do, they were not going to do it, and I loved them to pieces. Like, I just want to, both of the books in this series, I just want to hold like this. Yes, I highly recommend this book. I did actually just find out that Chloe Leese has another series that I want to pick up as well. But so far, 2 out of 2 of her books have been 5 stars. So, next I read the chunker of a book of A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 2 in the From Blood and Ash series, so I'm not going to go too much into what happens in this one. This is a fantasy romance. It's vampires, werewolves, other kind of, like, things. Yes. I gave this one 4 stars. It was a sequel, and there was just kind of there were just bits where I was like, okay, let's get to some action. Let's get going. Let's do something. And yeah, there were just parts of it where I did like it overall. And I do see, like, the merit of, like, the setup that was happening in this book for stuff that's going to happen in book 3, I think. But I was just kind of like, okay, let's go. I need some more action. The first one, I felt like I was really like drawn into the pace of the book, and I just didn't feel like that happened with this one very much. So next I read Neanderthal Seeks Human by Penny Reed, and I really shouldn't have read this book yet, because now I really want to read the rest of the Knitting in the City series, and I don't own it. So, going off of that, I gave this book 3 stars. This is one where it's only the heroine's perspective, and I just kind of wish we had the heroes on this one. This is about Janie, who at the beginning of the book is reeling from, well, not really reeling, but she's had to deal with a breakup of a long-term boyfriend who was cheated on her, And she finds out at the beginning of the book that she's been fired from her job. And the security guard that escorts her out is Quinn. And he kind of... Oh, this sounds kind of terrible. He kind of manipulates her into taking this other job, which is at a company that he owns, but she doesn't know that. And so she kind of went through this whole thing, like most of the book, not knowing that he was her boss. And something about that just didn't sit right with me, which is kind of why I wish that we had his perspective as well to find out why. Like, why he never chose to, like, outright tell her. But, yeah, I did like it. I am really interested in the rest of the series. I loved the knitting group. So, next was The Wedding Date Disaster by Avery Flynn. I believe this is a standalone. This is Hadley and Will. Hadley is a... She grew up in a really small town, and she's moved to Harbor City, which is, like, the books I've read of Avery Flynn, that's where they take place, the, like, big city. But she's a small town girl, and she enlists her guy best friend's help going back home to her sister's wedding. Her guy best friend fakes food poisoning so that his twin brother, who Hadley does not get along with, will go in his place. This was cute, and I only gave it 4 stars. Like, low 4 stars, though. Because I feel like Will didn't quite grovel enough to warrant Hadley's forgiveness as easily as she gave it. Basically, throughout the whole book, he's been calling her a gold digger. And I felt like she let that go a little bit too easily for me, personally. But I did like it. So, low 4 stars. I finished the DeVincent series by Jennifer L. Armentrout by reading Moonlight Scandals. This is Rosie and Devlin. Devlin, I think, is the oldest of the DeVincent brothers, and Rosie is the friend of the heroine from book 2. They run into each other. That's kind of spoilery. Everything I want to say is so spoilery today. Basically they run into each other and then, like, just can't get each other off of their minds. So, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, everything, like, you can technically read them as standalones. The relationships are standalone in the books, but there's this whole, like, overarching thing in the DeVincent series that has a lot to do with the plot. So, well, no, you know what? I would say don't read these as standalones. Definitely read 1, 2, and then 3, which this is 3, so that just does not help you very much. Moving on. I read Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein. I gave this one 5 stars. But I'm gonna put a little asterisk on there in that it was not a 5-star romance. If I was rating it as a romance, I would give it 4 stars because dude did not deserve forgiveness. I don't feel like dude deserved forgiveness. What even was his name? Ryan. Avery and Ryan. Avery is a former supposed to be Olympic gymnast, but she got hurt at the Olympic trials and didn't make it, and her life has basically kind of fallen apart. She fell into, like, this deep depression right afterwards, and it's just nothing in her life worked out the way she thought it was going to. So she moves back home after a breakup, and Ryan contacts her about helping him train a gymnast who is on her way to the Olympics, who wants to make the team, because she's struggling a little bit with her floor routine, which is what Avery's like top event was. And I'm not going to tell you what the conflict was, but I don't think he deserved forgiveness as easily as she gave it. I don't think he ever, like, I think he just, like, apologized once, and she was like, oh, okay, I still love him. Anyway, the reason I gave this book 5 stars is because other than that, Avery, I felt like, was a really strong heroine. She had dealt with the loss of her childhood dream. She had dealt with this depression. She may not have done it well, but she got there in the end, which is what's important. She had really strong female friendships. Her roommate that she moves in with, I really liked her character, and I would be interested in a like follow-up book about best friend and teammate Jasmine, who actually did go to the Olympics and ended up actually marrying their coach, which is still a little creepy. I would really like her book on dealing with the divorce and everything and moving on. I think that would be cool. But yes, as a romance, not great. I did really enjoy the gymnastics aspect of it. I'm a gymnastics fan, so I really enjoyed that. I did really like this book, but I didn't like this book as a romance. Maybe it was a 4-star read then. I don't know. See, these are the things that I'm just like, what does the star rating really mean? If you've seen the last, like, 2 videos that I've done, or kind of the last 2, but most definitely my last one, I'm just like, star ratings, and just, I don't know what to do. Star ratings and reviews are just really kicking my butt lately. Anyway, the 10th book that I've read lately is Ride Rough by Laura Kay. This is book 2 in the Raven Riders series. This is about Maverick and Alexa. Yes, Maverick and Alexa. And they are, I guess you could say they were childhood sweethearts. They were together when they were younger. And Alexa's brother was joining the same motorcycle club, the Raven Riders, as Maverick, and he ended up passing away in an accident, and she didn't handle it very well. She didn't want to lose anybody else, which is completely understandable. She basically, like, dumped that whole side of her life and moved on to a rich guy, and he was an abusive asshole. Let's just leave it at that. So this is Alexa finding her way back to Maverick, him helping her get out of the situation, and yeah. I gave this one 4 stars. I did really like that they had been together in the past, and that it was a second chance, but I did feel like maybe she moved on a little bit too soon. I felt like she didn't quite wrap her head all the way around that she had been in this abusive relationship, other than just, oh, the way he treated me was terrible because Maverick doesn't treat me like that. So, I don't know. I gave that one 4 stars. I'm really looking forward to book 3 in that series. So, those are the last 10 books that I read. If you liked this format, let me know. If you have any other ideas of ways I could try out, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!